All right, what's up, y'all? What's good? As you guys can see, I've been up for a minute grinding. You feel me? Grinding, okay? If you guys don't know who I am, my name is Brandon Jones, and I specialize in helping you guys make an extra income stream. I've been up since like 4 a.m. working on getting these updates for the price list. But I wanted to bring it to you guys today because I'm really excited. I got a good plethora of information. So we're going to hop right into it. Now, I want to first talk about, because I wrote down some notes too to make sure we're structured. All right, so our first topic is going to be top 5 mistakes phone flippers are making, okay? So number 1, when I hop onto calls with students, I hear a bunch of people telling me about their stories, things they've been through, profit they've made. But what a lot of people fail to realize is that it takes a lot of consistency to consistently be proactive in the phone flipping game, okay? Now, when it comes to mistakes that guys are making, I do want to make this very clear. The mistakes that you are making are not mistakes that you cannot fix, but it's more so things that you choose to do because it makes you comfortable. Prime example, a lot of us are selling phones on eBay. That's one mistake that I feel like everybody should be able to avoid, but a lot of people aren't because they don't have buyers that pay them good prices. So what they do is they'll try to supplement it for eBay. Now, when you try and supplement eBay for your profit, it becomes a little bit redundant, shaky, and also you are going to be competing against a plethora of other phone sellers. Now, it is possible, and you can do it, and people do as well. But what's going to end up happening is you're going to be missing out on the connection aspect of phone flipping. Now, understand what I mean. So phone flipping has 2 different things that you could utilize, okay? You have buyers, you have consumers, and they both come with different benefits. Consumers, if you sell to a consumer is somebody that would just buy the phone because they want to use it, right? Prime example, if you go on eBay, which I would never recommend. If you go on eBay and you try to go and sell a phone, you're selling to a consumer most likely, somebody that's going to use that device for their personal use, which it could become cool, right? They're good. If they're using that phone for their own personal use, that's cool, right? It's nothing against that. You're going to be able to sell it for more, obviously, because consumers will always pay more than a wholesale buyer. I want to say it again. A consumer will always pay more than a wholesale buyer. So if you're looking to actually make more money, you have to realize consumers are where you want to be. Okay, you don't want to sell to somebody that is selling phones overseas because they're not going to give you the best price. The best price is always going to come from consumers. Next, when it comes to consumers, you're obviously going to be able to sell it, but it's going to take longer, slower, right? It's more of a process to get that product sold. So if I list an iPhone 14 Pro Max right now and offer up, it probably might take me a day or maybe 3, right? But if I was to go to a wholesale buyer, I could get that off my hands immediately because he's already ready with the funds to actually get this phone. So those are like the real differences, but the only benefits I can honestly say I see with wholesale buyers is that you create a connection. Now, that connection doesn't have to be personal. It could be just business. But that connection can be used for a bunch of different problems or situations. Prime example, the one I had recently was one of my people brought a iPhone 14 Pro, and I think it was iCloud locked. Didn't have nothing to do with the phone. Like, they couldn't sell it, right? Because it actually had, please return the phone to such and such, and it had the phone number. So that phone was locked down, but they had just paid a pretty penny for it. So what happened was I connected them with a wholesale buyer that I utilized, that they now were able to get that phone off, still make a profit so that they can continue to go and thrive. See, this is the difference, right? When you go to work with a wholesale buyer, you understand that, yeah, they're not going to pay you the best, highest price, but they are going to pay you something that is going to get you something, right? Like I don't want to say with the wholesale buyer you're not going to get any profit, because you are. What's up, Samuel? What's good, Samuel? You are going to get a profit. But what happens is that you're going to actually you're going to lose out a little bit, but you're able to compensate it with the speed. The next thing that phone flippers do that kind of get them stuck in a rut is they do not inspect what they expect. Now, a lot of us, we want to flip phones and we go to a meetup. We automatically want to buy that phone, but we don't really look at all the ins and outs. And I was somebody that did this as well, because when I used to first start buying phones, I never checked the camera. I never checked the speaker. I never checked these small details, right? And it was because, like, as long as the IMEI was good, I was good, right? But what you start realizing when you're buying these phones off of consumers face to face is that about 60% of them are selling these devices because of a reason, right? They have a reason to sell these devices. And the reason they're selling these devices, you really need to figure out why. You can't walk up to me and ask me, hey, Brandon, why are you selling this phone? And think that I'm going to tell you, well, I'm selling it because the phone has a messed up speaker, or I'm selling it because I can't seem to find out what the password. Like, I'm not going to tell you that if you're not going to do your research. I'm just going to let you buy it. That's how it works, right? So you want to inspect what you expect, and that means going to a website like SigW. I love SigW because it gives you a bunch of information on that device so that you're never caught slipping, okay? The next thing I would say is people are, and remember, we're on 3. People are meeting up with people and losing leverage. Now, when it comes to you meeting up with people and losing leverage, this is exactly what I mean. So you go ahead and let's say you get somebody off of Facebook using Facebook ads. So great, right? You are on your way to getting a profit. Well, if you're not meeting that person in a vicinity that's close to you, the further you go, the more risk you're taking, right? I don't meet people for phones anywhere more than a mile from my house or where I'm at, right? The reason is because the further I come, the harder it's going to be for me to walk away, right? And I don't ever want to have that feeling, because I've had it before, where it's like, damn, bro, I can't even turn around. So I'll give you a really good example. What's up, Daryl? I'll give you a really good example, right? So I went to go and try to sell a phone one time. This person was like, yeah, I'm about a phone for X amount. I'm like, all right, bet. So I knew this phone, and I even took pictures. I think the phone had like a small little dent in the corner, right? But again, it's a dent, nevertheless, right? So I'm going and driving, and I remember because I drove, I believe it was like 30 minutes. So I'm driving to this guy. Mind you, this phone has been with me for a while. Now, the reason I didn't sell it to a buyer at that time was because buyers, yes, they do care about grade, right? You have grade A+, which we're going to go through all phone grades. We're going through everything phone flipping in this live. But the grade, right? So they have A+, they have B+, they have B, they have C, they have D. And this phone was A+. It just had a little dent, right? So it was hard for me to sell to the buyers because I would be taking a loss. So I wanted to sell it to a consumer. I'm driving to the person, get to the person. Person's like, oh my God, the dent is bigger than what I looked and saw. Or I didn't, he said something like he didn't look at the picture clearly. So I had came all the way out there, and he changed his mind. So, I ended up selling it to him because I was like, well, listen, I'm taking a loss at this point because I am about to go double back, drive all the way back to the crib with the phone, no money. I'm all right, but I just go ahead and sell it. Like, you want others to feel that way. You don't want to feel that way. That's why you want to make sure if you are a phone flipper that you're not meeting people. You have them come to you. Now, no, you don't tell them, hey, you're going to come to me. No, you lie and say, hey, I'm in such and such area. I can meet you at such and such place. Like, let's say I'm close to the airport. All right, bet I'm close to the airport. I'm gonna tell a person I'm like 30 minutes from the airport. You want to meet there? Safe location. You see what I'm saying? It's all about maintaining your leverage every single time you meet up. So that's number 3. Number 4 is going to be the fact that a lot of people do not know how to flip their money. Now, I used to be this too. Like, I used to not know how to flip my bread. I used to have money trauma, and a lot of people still have money trauma. And money trauma is very common in our generation because we don't understand the value. We think that money holds the value, but money doesn't. Our decision makings are what makes the money valuable. So when it comes to phone flipping, right, you want to make sure you are not looking at a phone as profit. So I'll give you guys this example. I did this live yesterday and gave this example. You have an iPhone 14 Pro Max that you're getting, right? It's $300, right? You know that the buyer is going to pay you $350. So you like, all right, bet I'm going to buy this phone from this person for $300. I'm going to make a $50 profit. Right? That's the wrong way to think about it. Because what you have to think is, all right, well, I know the buyer's going to pay $350, but I want to make a 75% profit margin, or I want to make a 55% profit margin. Like, you have to actually start weighing things out in your head, profit margin based, because that's how you scale your business. Not just that, but that's how you build a system. I'll give you an example. Let's say I built the business on a $50 profit, right? Like, every phone I got, I just wanted to get $50. Great. But how do I relate that to my employees? If they run into a older device, right? And that device is being sold for, like, let's say it's an iPhone 11. The iPhone 11 is being sold for $150, right? But the buyer's paying $150. So now my associate is like, all right, well, this person's trying to sell it to me for $150. The buyer is only buying it for $150. Oh, okay, Mr. or Mrs. Customer, I'll offer you $100. Nobody's going to sell an iPhone 11 for $100. They're not, because in their minds, they feel like that iPhone 11 is still valuable. So it's just all about understanding that it's profit margins, which help you build a system, which in return helps you profit and continue to flourish in the phone flipping game. Now, last but not least, one of the biggest mistakes I see people making, especially new phone flippers, is you guys are not thinking at all about scaling. You're so busy trying to, hey, Thank you, little Louie. Thank you for following me. I appreciate you. Thank you. All right, so look, right? It's all about going and realizing. Oh, I just had a blank. You done. Yeah, you really got me excited. I done blanked out. I know I'm on the last one, right? So the last one, what I'll say is, because I have a bunch. The last one that I want to touch on is scaling. So as a phone flipper, scaling is important, but not something we look at because we don't hear a lot of people talking about it. Mo, what's up? Not a lot of people are talking about actually scaling, right? We're talking more so about, let me make profit. See, what I had to realize was when I started to want to live in a nicer place, have nicer clothes, do certain things. I'm doing good, bro. How are you? I realized that my lifestyle was going to cost me more, so my hustle had to generate more. And that's where a lot of people getting mixed up is they forget that, okay, where I'm at right now and the money I'm making now is cool, but eventually it gotta double. I gotta make some more because as life continues to go on, so does my responsibilities, right? That's good to hear, Mo. That's good to hear, man. I'm just going over the price list, actually. So I'm on YouTube, and I'm about to go over a slide deck of the price list. It's Educated Hustler. All one word, Educated Hustler. But, so, now, moving forward, right? Those are the 5 mistakes that I see a lot of phone flippers making. Now, when it comes to where you want to find your phones to flip, this is where things get interesting, okay? Before we get into the slide, I'm going to talk about where you want to find your phones because as a beginner, I know it becomes confusing. You have some people saying Facebook. You got some people saying eBay. I'll be very, very clear. eBay is not the place you want to find for phones to flip. The reason is because eBay is highly competitive, and also you have a bunch of you have different types of buyers, right? Different types of sellers. You have different types of people in one platform that are all competing for sales. Now, that's good in a sense if you're ready for that, but if you're somebody that is starting out, what I personally recommend is a platform like OfferUp, prime example. And let me explain. Because OfferUp, it lets you interact. Thank you for the likes so much. Thank you, bro. Thank you. It helps you interact with people in your surrounding area so you can actually start making mistakes. Yes, I said making mistakes, because see, what a lot of people don't do is they don't fail enough. Like a lot of people, especially when it comes to reselling or phone flipping, you don't fail enough, because what you're trying to do is you're trying to succeed so bad that you're trying to skip the journey. And when you skip that journey of failing, you end up building, maybe eluding some type of failure, but when you get to a certain position, you start panicking when something go wrong. And I'll give you a great example. I had a friend. This friend wanted to start a business. This friend came to my storefront and he told me, hey, could I wanted to start this business, and it was like a tea business. It was something with drinks, right? I was like, all right, cool. Customers come in, you can set up right here and you can start selling your drinks. So he's like, oh, for real? I was like, bet, yeah, you can do that. So he's like, okay, mind you, this person just started. I, as a friend, wanted to put him on, right? Like, you know, we all want to make sure our friends eat. So I give him a space in the store to go ahead and sell his drinks, right? No alcohol drinks or anything, just regular drinks. So I'm like, all right, cool. So he goes, he sets up day by day, doesn't get no clientele. Doesn't get nobody to walk in. People that do walk in don't want his drink because it's a drink from a stranger, right? So he starts to get upset, and I'm literally watching him get upset. And I remember it was one point where I was like, yo, bro, you good? He like, man, I ain't gonna lie, I'm about to quit. And I was like, why you about to quit? He's like, nobody want it. I was like, well, what other things are you doing besides sitting here? And like, I'm that friend that will always tell you what it is, no matter if you like it or not, right? I don't really care about your feelings more than I care about your progression, right? So I'm not one to care about coddling people or trying to speak positivity into you if all you are doing is spewing out negative results, right? I'm not one to give you some type of heroic speech and hype you up so that you can try and take over the world if you don't even have a work ethic to do it, right? I'm the type of person, I'm going to let you know, bro, you ain't working enough. You ain't working harder than enough. You ain't actually trying to make it work or make it actually happen at all. You just sitting there being lazy. And that's what I told him. You just sitting here, bro. You didn't do no marketing. You didn't go out there and you didn't let people test your beverage. Like, bro, you just sitting here. Like, you are going to be owed something. Like, who owes you something? Right? So it got to that point. He ended up realizing he's not a businessman. He's more of a clerk. Clerks are people that sit at cash registers, right? And I think a lot of people have to really take a deep dive into them, right? And realize, are you a clerk or are you a hustler? Say it again. Are you a clerk or are you a hustler? Because there's a difference between being a clerk and a hustler. Let's say we both work at a cell phone store. And I tell my associates this all the time. Either you're going to be the person to wait for somebody to walk in the door, or you're going to be the person to get them to come in. Right? And like on YouTube, I don't even talk too much about sales, but I'm very, very good at sales because that's how I actually started, being able to sell myself, pause, right? No weird stuff. But being able to sell myself has helped me be able to acquire money without having to go to work, right? So selling is something that I'm pretty good at. So when it comes to getting people inside the door, it comes easy to me because I know how to articulate myself. Also, I know how to override objections. I also know how to take over a conversation. But not everybody does, therefore it's not for them. And it's the same thing when it comes to phone flipping, right? If you're going to be somebody that is going to just start on OfferUp but expect people to come and literally give you deals, you're going to be broke. If you're somebody that wants to do Facebook ads but you don't really know even how to convert or how to override a simple objection of, oh, I don't want to sell it for that amount, then you're going to fail. There's a lot of people that are buying courses instead of learning how to sell. See, in courses that are being taught with phone flipping, they're teaching you about numbers and what they think phones are worth, but they're not teaching you how to actually sell your idea or the amount that you're offering. I'll give you a really good example, and we're going to go through some right here and offer up in a little bit. If I'm trying to buy a phone and that person's saying they want $400, but I know that phone based on the price list market value is worth $275, I'm not going to $400. What I'll go to is $250, but I want to initially go to $250. I'll probably say I could do $230. It's not in the box, right? I'll ask a question. The reason I ask that question is because I want a response. And if I ask that question, it can create some curiosity, have that person respond back to me, and they may think, well, oh, he only made a little offer because he assumed. No, I didn't assume. I just asked a discovery question. I asked a discovery question to start a conversation. Once you start a conversation, then I start understanding why you're selling that phone for that amount. And then I could take it from there, whether I ask for the IMEI or I try to meet up or you just say no, cool. I still leave my contact and you'll end up coming back to me because your phone is absolutely overpriced. That's how it works. It's simple. It's not that complicated, bro. I promise you guys, it's not that complicated. It's just more so about understanding how to sell yourself, and not a lot of people do it. So when you're trying to find phones, understand that it's not really about you sitting there waiting for phones to come. That's not how this works. I done had people pay me $500 plus just learn how to phone flip, and they don't want to leave the crib. And you want to know what I tell these people? And it's a true story. I tell these people, you better figure it out. You better find a way. Yes, you better find a way, because let me tell you something right now. If you don't want to walk and do any work, bro, you're going to fail. I'm not one to color code, not a goddamn thing to nobody. Because, see, your success is not my job. My job is to help you with a foundation, to give you that motivation, but also to tell you when you slipping. You feel me? Like, think about it. The people that care about you most are the ones that actually don't care about how you feel about the constructive criticism they're giving you, right? And that's how I do it. So I tell this, I'm like, yo, bro, you're going to have to get up off your lazy ass, man. Now, I don't say that, but I'm like, you're going to have to, like, do something, bro. Oh, I just don't know because I'm not able to get any phones on offer up. Yeah. Because you're not actually learning how to talk to people. You're too busy trying to just follow what you see on the internet. The problem is I could teach you all day right here on this screen how to phone flip, and you won't make any money. I could teach you how to phone flip from A to Z and what worked for me, but you won't make any money because you have to take what worked for me and you have to make it into your own. And that's a fact, bro. Everything I'm speaking is facts. Everything I'm speaking is what all of these other fake ass phone flippers don't want to tell you. They too busy trying to flip diabetic strips now. I want y'all to peep something right now. 100%. How many phone flippers do you guys know are still pushing out phone flipping content? Go ahead and look at all the phone flippers that you were actually going ahead and watching 2 years ago, or maybe even 3 years ago. How many? People have to take action and stop being lazy. Exactly. Facts. But you want to know why people don't? Because people don't really believe in it. They just want to see if it's as easy as what people make it seem, bruh. See, that's the thing. It ain't no better feeling than going ahead, bro, and getting the phone to flip. It ain't no better feeling giving that money to that person and then getting that phone in return, having that phone flip. It ain't no better feeling, bro. When you flipping bread, when you actually making money and you see that, oh, man, I just bought this phone for $300. I just made $700. That is a great feeling. That's when it becomes addictive. But people that don't actually see that success they don't get it. They never feel that feeling, therefore they don't have that hustle. Facts. So if the question is, where do you start sourcing? I would say offer up, but you also got to be proactive. You got to make sure that you're actually going, talking to people, even if it means getting on a phone call. I'm going to tell you this right now. I done got on phone calls with people that have made me thousands weekly because they are people that get phones on a consistent basis. Literally, just by talking. Just by talking. I met a guy recently. I met a guy, right? Cool guy. Really cool. And he was always coming to me. One day I was like, yo, how you getting all these phones, bruh? That's what I said to him. I was like, how you getting all these phones? He said, what you mean? I said, like, you get a lot of phones. You must work for UPS. He said, nah, I don't work for UPS. I said, what you mean? I said, what you do? He said, bro, I go on Tinder. I said, you go on Tinder? He said, yeah. I said, what you doing on Tinder, bro? He said, oh, what I do is I find girls, I date them for a little bit. Fact, this is 100% true, okay? I date them for a little bit, and then I had them open up an account for me, and then I have them get phones for me. I said, you do what with girls? He said, I find them online, I get them to open phone accounts for me. I said, wow. I said, I ain't never heard of that. He said, it worked, bro. I said, okay. And all right. But again, these are things that people do, but you can learn and understand, how they get it. But it's just about networking, because he shared that with me. He felt close enough to be able to tell me that, you know what I mean? So that was a interesting conversation, to say the least. Now, I want to get into the presentation, okay? And then once we get into the presentation, I'm going to hop back into, I think I got 2 more topics I really want to talk about. We'll do a little offers, and then I'm going to get up out of here, okay? I don't want to have this be too long of a live, all right? All right, so we're going to go. If you are on TikTok and you cannot see this, I apologize. You can go to YouTube. It is Educated Hustler, okay? One word all together, all right? But you guys you're more than welcome to stay on TikTok too, okay? It is a visual slide though, okay? So unlock more profits. Your guide to phone flipping price list. Everything you need to know to flip smarter, earn faster, and dominate your local or online reselling game. Now, when it comes to dominating your local or online reselling game, what did I mean by that? So let's make this very clear, okay? I have a question. To start flipping phones, which phone is the best to start with? So I'm about to go over that, but Nelson, what's up? Nelson Rivera, thank you so much for even asking that question. I just want to say that I hope you're having a great day. And to answer your question, right now, currently, if I was someone starting or flipping in general, I would be attacking the 14 Pro Max and the 15 Pro Max. Those seem to be really, really well selling right now. I get a lot of those phones in weekly, and I ain't gonna lie, sometimes we see more money than what we anticipated, because these are devices, everybody wants the Pro Maxes, but these are devices that people are, like, let's say consumers, right? Because you have wholesale buyers, you have consumers. People are selling these to consumers and also wholesale buyers, and they are literally having the wholesale buyers compete with consumers, because consumers love middle tier phones. They love phones that aren't too new and aren't too old. So that would be my answer, Nelson. But thank you, man. I hope that you tap in more, bro. Thank you. I appreciate you, Nelson. If you have any other questions, don't ever hesitate to ask me, okay? So yeah, dominating the local and online reselling game, especially with phone flipping, is important, right? Because see, what a lot of people don't do is they don't understand selling locally is actually a really good idea. Now, the reason I sell locally and I also sell online is because locally I can touch, I can feel, I can hear, right? It's a difference when it comes to flipping phones online versus just in person. Now, in person, you can buy a phone from somebody. You can make a deal work with somebody and get a crazy ass discount, or you could get more phones. I've had a bunch of negotiations that were really hard, especially like it was one girl one day. She was like, yeah, me and my boyfriend want to sell our phones, but we're not selling it for that amount. I'm like, okay, well, go ahead, go do your thing, sweetheart. She like, oh, well, you trying to offer us too low, da. And long story short, we ended up meeting at a bank. She brought iPad, Apple Watch, and her phones and said, will you take this? Absolutely will. You know what I mean? Like, it's just all about, and I don't want to get too much into the story because then I'm going to go off topic, but it's just all about having flexibility for you to understand how to create your own deals. No problem, Nelson. I'm here, bro. That's what I do. I'm here. If you don't know, my name is Brandon. I'm here. I resell both electronics, and I also flip phones. All right. So yeah, locally and online is very important. Okay. Now the first slide is going to say your buyers equal your business. Now this is important because I never realized this. I didn't know that buyers were important. I thought that just because I have a phone is at high demand, therefore I don't need to worry about who I'm selling it to. I just need to sell it. So this changed for me because I started to realize no buyers, no sales, period. That's it. Now, I get it. You think that you will always be able to find a buyer, and you will. But the point of the matter, especially with iPhones, is that you may need to get those phones off really quick. I'll give you guys another example. Let's say Christmas is coming. You got a daughter, a son, and you got a girlfriend, okay? And you need to get some bread because you know you need to get them gifts, all right? This is the perfect time to liquidate your assets, which would be the phones that you're flipping, right? So Christmas time is the mecca of phone flipping because you're always able to get the phones off quick, bro. Quick. Okay, because somebody somewhere somehow is trying to get a device for their kids, presents, and more. Okay. Okay, Nelson. Okay, cool. Welcome back, bro. But yeah, so it's just always being able to liquidate, being able to actually understand that having multiple buyers in preferably in two sectors. You want consumers, but you also want wholesale buyers because they are able to be there just in case you need to get some bread quickly. I went through some things and stopped. I'm trying to get back into the bro. Listen, I got you. We all go through things. I understand. Nelson, I understand. Okay, I understand, bro. We listen. It's a hard. Yeah, I get you. I got you, bro. I hope everything's going well with you now, man. You got through it, right? Having multiple phone buyers creates leverage. So again, when it comes to now, you good. When it comes to having phone buyers, right? You want to make sure you have multiple because then you can have them all competing against each other. When you have them competing against each other, then they start to slack off. And I was telling Mo yesterday, I was telling him how, having one phone buyer is great, but as a buyer myself, right? If I tell somebody, yo, I only could do 700, bro, and he like, yo, B, I need more. And I'm like, well, this is all I could do. If I'm his only buyer, I'm gonna tell you straight up, I'm not moving my price. I want my profit. I don't care, right? But then let's say I said that to him, and then he says to me, nothing. Let's say he like, yo, B, I got an iPhone 16 Pro Max. Matter of fact, I got 5 of them. I'm like, money signs, right? So he says, how much? And I say 700 or whatever I say, right? And then I don't hear from him. As a buyer, what I start to think to myself is, yo, bro, you got the phones? And then he might be like, oh, no, bro, I'm about to go sell them to my other buyer. That's a wake-up call to buyers. That's a wake-up call. That is one of the scariest things for buyers to actually go through because then they start thinking to themselves, wait, other buyer? You got another buyer? I'm competing against somebody? That's one thing people don't want to do. That's why my prices ain't free because I had to pay my buyers to actually be on the price list. See, here's the thing. Buyers don't like competing against each other because it's direct competition and everybody's prices are different. So it's something they don't want to do. You got to utilize that. Okay? So buyers compete. That's very important. All right? Now, which means you get higher offers. Buyers let you move phones fast without waiting for eBay or Facebook Marketplace. Now, waiting for eBay, Facebook Marketplace, offer up. These are normal things phone flippers go through. I don't mind waiting. I'm one of them people. I have no problem listing a phone up and letting it sit for a week because I do understand that the key to making bread is sometimes patience. If I rush it, I know for a fact that there is a chance that I will lose out on money. Give you a good example. I have a bunch of examples today. I went to Colombia. I sold a phone for $500 the day before I caught the flight, right? And I was thinking to myself, damn, because when I was on that trip, I had about 4 people say, hey, I do $650. So what I did was I was rushing to try and get a sale when the whole time all I had to do was be patient. And I could have got $150 more, but I didn't because I pressed it. So yes, you want to move these phones fast. It depends on the device, okay? All right. So now we're moving to a slide that says breakdowns. Grades matter. Now, I want to let everybody know you can have this slide deck. Go to my YouTube. All you got to do is comment under this video. Let me know that you want this whole slide deck, and I will give it to you. It's a deck full of information, okay? And decks are basically slideshows, okay? Now, the breakdown. Grades matter. Now, we're talking about phone grades, okay? Now, pricing and buyer interest change based on grades. Knowing this avoids bad deals. Now, sealed phones is a grade. That means not open, okay? It's a closed phone. It still has the seal on it. Open/activated is an open box device. HSO, a lot of people ask me this all the time. What does HSO mean? It means headset only, okay? Very important, because when you get a headset only device, it could be an insurance claim device, or it could be a device that is refurbished, or it could be a used device that somebody's trying to sell to you and act like it's new. A lot of people do that, okay? Now, another thing I want to do is, okay, we could break down the regular one. So you got A+ in the box, no flaws. B+, no box, no flaws. B, no box, site flaws. C, no box, scratches, no cracks. Now, here's the thing, right? When it comes to grades, there's always going to be a cloudy, always a cloudy little gray area. Mo, you said so finance devices. Yes. So finance devices are locked devices, but they still have the same grades. So you can have a financed or an unlocked phone, and it could be a sealed activated. It could be a sealed non-activated. It could be a HSO, excuse me. Now, let me make this very clear. Sealed phones, activated or not activated, doesn't matter. A lot of people try to make it a big thing, but like my buyers don't, because they know that I don't play that. But some buyers will try to finesse you, right? So I'll give you an example. Let's say we have two phones in our hands, right? We got phone A, phone B. You got a sealed non-activated, and then you got a sealed activated. What's the difference? So there is none, because every real phone flipper knows that if a phone is rung out or rung in inventory, it's activated. It is activated on AT&T, T-Mobile, or whatever company's service, no matter what. You got to remember that. Now, a sealed non-activated device is going to be a device that has not been rung in. Now, if you get one of these devices, this is absolutely, positively stolen. Okay? It is a stolen device, something that one of the employees probably took out the back before doing inventory. Now, I have people that do that, and then they'll bring me the phones. That happens, okay? I'm about to get into like a lot more phone flipping content, because Mo he definitely put a flame on me yesterday, asking me if I still do phone flipping, which shows me I haven't put out enough content. But yes, you have finance phones, but finance phones are okay to buy. What's the best contact information so we can stay connected? Nelson, do this, right? What I want you to do is right now, DM me, okay? You could DM me, and I could share my information with you. But I'm gonna be on live here every day as well, okay? That's one of my goals for this month, is to be more on TikTok, as well as I was on TikTok a little bit more, but I fell off. So yeah, and also of course YouTube. But yeah, so you have A+/B+ grade. Let's talk about these. So these are for used phones, okay? So used phones, no problem, Nelson, no problem. I can't wait to tap in with you. Used phones, right? They have A+ and B+. The reason I have these coupled together is because A+ is going to be a flawless phone, a phone that is like new, but it has a open box. So like, it's just a phone with a box, okay, but it looks brand new. Usually these phones are going to be phones that scammers use to like run YouTube so they can do insurance claims, or it will be a phone that somebody used and they used it for like 6 months, kept it in the case, but they had buyer's remorse. Okay? Or they changed their carrier. B plus is going to be similar though. Okay? We don't really deal with A. Okay? I don't deal with A. If it's an A type of phone, it's an A plus or B plus. There's no in between. Now, why do I skip A? Because when I work with buyers, I see that they bull crap. Okay, it's another word that I want to use, but I'm gonna just say bull crap. I'm not cursing today. But they BS. What they'll do is sometimes I'll have an A device, a grade A device, and they'll either be like, "Oh no, this is grade B plus, or they'll be like, "It's grade A plus." So I'm like, you know what? Nah, forget it. I'm not doing it. Okay. So you have B grade. Now, B grade is going to be the phone that most people like us get, okay? I see B grade phones more than any other phone. This is going to be a device that has light scratches. It's fully functional, okay? But it's used. It's just a used phone. C grade is going to be one of those phones that got some damage on it, okay? Now, in other terms, you'll have other things where it's like parts only, activation locked, blacklisted. All of these phones can be sold with our buyers on the price list. And we'll get to the price list in a second, okay? Now, should you flip new or used phones? This is actually a really great question, okay? And a lot of people have this mixed up because, see, you have some people that believe that flipping used phones is a no-go. You have some people that think that that's the only thing you should do. There's a bunch of different. Why do all the YNs call me Unk? This is crazy now, man. Am I a Unk now? Am I a Unk? This is crazy. But new phones, used phones, which one? I'm going to tell you this right now. If you're not selling both or buying both, you're tripping like a transmission. You're out of pocket like a pistol in a robbery. Okay? There is absolutely no reason why you should leave any meat on the bones. Pause. Okay? I personally used to not buy used phones. I used to only buy new. And then I had this guy tell me, "Brandon, what are you doing? Okay? What are you doing?" I kind of messed up on this slide, but I don't even want to talk about it. But regardless, okay? I'm going to fix the slide. Just saying. I messed up on the slide. Don't judge me. I messed up on the slide. I probably should have said I messed up on the slide because now you're going to look at how I messed up on the slide. But I messed up on the slide and I'm kind of upset. But I'm going to keep going, okay? Like many different people out here, right? We do not think that we can buy both when in fact we can, okay? You have new devices. Now, with these new devices, you have a few good things, right? A new device is going to be a device that is going to hold more value. It's a device that consumers will look to buy because they feel like a new device is a fresh start. You're also going to have a higher reselling market. But a used phone is even better because let's say it's a phone that's used and it's locked to T-Mobile. So let's say, Brandon is a teenager that just got his own phone plan. And I only qualify for Androids. That's all I can get is Androids. So I go and offer up looking for an iPhone 16. But all the unlocked iPhone 16s, they high. These folk want money. So I'm looking for a locked one because all I got to do is swap that eSIM and put that phone on my account. Now, this is where buying used phones gives you a benefit. If you buy a used phone, you're actually putting yourself in a better position because now with that used phone, you can attract people that actually need you more than you need them. Let me unpack that. That teenager that can't qualify for an iPhone ain't trying to walk around getting girls' numbers with a Galaxy A51. They trying to get the number with the iPhone 16 Pro Max. Right? Listen to Unc, man. I'm telling y'all. So, what you want to do is you want to make sure that you buy used phones because it's going to help you actually cater to certain people, certain markets that need you. Do you think Apple doesn't know that people resell iPhones? Apple absolutely loves the fact that people scam and get phones and sell them to buyers like us. Because they know for a fact, no matter if you take the phone from T-Mobile, AT&T, is going to be put back on the iCloud server and somebody going to be using that thing. What they want is they want people that can't afford iPhones to have iPhones in their hands. Why, Brandon? That doesn't make sense. Well, because if you put an iPhone in someone that can't afford its hands, they start falling in love with it and they'll do anything to get another one. Facts. I'm telling y'all how it works. This is real game and it's free. See, the model of Apple is, listen, we have a product we know that broke people love. Facts. I'll give you guys enough. Most millionaires I know that I sat down with, they got Androids. That's a fact. Correct me if I'm telling you, they got the fold. Some people got the flip. But what I'm saying is a lot of them have these Androids because you could do more, blah, blah, blah. The point that I'm saying is what Apple does is they put the phone in people's hands and people fall in love with the propaganda, with the consistent, what do you call it? What the heck? I had a habit. Like when you want something because other people want it. Let's just say influence, right? They love the influence, so they'll spend their whole PTO paycheck on an iPhone just because they know they need that upgrade. So let me tell y'all, I know y'all got a grandmama, and I know y'all grandma got an old phone. And you like, yo, grandma, you got to update. But she like, I don't need to, honey. I don't need to because it still work, right? Vice versa. A poor-minded individual, yo, I need that new phone, bro. I got to get that 16. I used to be like that. I got to get the new phone. I got to. Yeah, you got to get the new phone because you're trying to impress people, trying to act like you somebody or got something that you don't. That's a difference. Okay? That's why Apple wins. All right? Now, it's not just phones that they buy on this price list. Now, remember, this price list has 50 buyers on it. They don't just buy phones. They buy iPhone, Samsung, Google Pixels. They buy iCloud lock / blacklisted phones, Apple Watches, MacBooks, game systems, parts, all of that. All of that. They buy every single thing. Not gonna lie, I have an XR and have like over 4 16s in front of me and never thought of really upgrading. The phone's still doing the job. Facts. There's absolutely no reason for you to want to upgrade, especially if you have a business mindset. I'm telling you because And I'm telling y'all this because I used to be the one that was selling phones, but I was like, yo, I can't sell this phone if I don't got it. I remember this Jewish guy, he owned the Sprint third party, and he looked me dead in my eyes, and he said, listen, you're never going to understand the value of money if you keep spending it, especially when you're spending it on a product that you're selling. And the reason I say Jewish, because, and I want to make this clear, I love the Jewish community and how they work. I love it. Because what I realized, I've learned a lot of business from people that are Jewish and in the Jewish community on how they actually, like they network together. They feed each other. They only support, like it's all internal. You feel me? And to get into that circle, you gotta spend some bread or put in a lot of work. That's a fact. I'm telling you. Everything I'm saying is facts. All right? Now, how does the price list work? You got to submit your devices to an email. Well, should I say the email? Last time I said the email, people just started sending their phones and they don't even have a price list. We won't accept, and buyers won't start making offers on phones from people that are not or do not have the price list. Okay, the price list is on hustlertaughtme.com. Okay, but you got to submit your device to the email. Okay, so once you submit your device, you only got to put the IMEI and what type of device it is and the grade if need be. Okay, they send you back competitive offers. You choose the highest offer you want. Market value on a price list is consistently updated. There's no guessing, no lowballing. You know exactly what to inspect. And again, we're going to make some offers live on OfferUp in a second, and I'll show you guys how I utilize the price list. All right. Now, unlocks works on any carrier, top reselling value, finance, still being paid, but they're locked to carriers. There's nothing wrong with the device that is locked and still being paid by somebody, or should be being paid, but it's not being paid. Most people don't pay their phones off. They just go ahead and move to a different company, get another promotion. But buyers overseas don't care if it's financed. You just need the right buyer. That's why my list is valuable. You hear me? You hear me? Because I've been in that position where I needed some money, and these buyers came through because they understood that a phone, whether it's paid or paid off, paid or not paid off, unlocked or not locked, is worth some bread. All right? Facts. Now, let's go into how offers look, okay? So we're going to go and look at how some offers are, okay? You see this person just made $3,600 from three iPhone 14s, 115 Plus, 113 Pro Max. Now, these are new devices. If you have an iPhone 13 Pro Max brand new, you're going to make a lot of money. I'm just letting you know. There are not many iPhone 13 Pro Maxes still brand new. Anyway, iPhone 15, 256, iPhone 14 Pro Max, iPhone 15 Pro, 128, iPhone 13 Pro Max, 128, iPhone 15, 512, $3,640. Okay. iPhone 15, iPhone 14, iPhone 14, iPhone 15, all 128, iPhone 14 Pro Max 256, 1,870. So these are offers that people have been offered by buyers. They can accept it, decline it, no matter what. They're getting offers and have buyers in their back pocket. Okay? So it all makes sense, right? It's all about getting those offers. Okay? Now, hold on, let me read. Oh, bro. This guy that sells me phones does business with a store that he knows for way longer than me, but he still wants to do more business with me because I'm more loyal, and he says my business is better than the store. Keep in mind, the store offers the same pricing as me. So what you're experiencing is that you are more likable, right? And that happens because, see, as a buyer, what it really comes down to sometimes is, are you likable? Do people really bang with you? Some people don't. Some people don't bang with me. I can't think of any, but I'm sure, right? I'm trying to think of a buyer that doesn't like me. A seller that doesn't like me. There are some. I'm trying to think. Give me 1 second. One of my good friends, he doesn't like me as a buyer. One of my good friends, he doesn't like me as a buyer. And the reason he doesn't like me as a buyer is because he never knows he doesn't know how much money I'm making off of him. And I think that bothers him. I'm just telling y'all the truth. There's another buyer that doesn't really bang with me because I don't come down on my prices with him. But he still comes to me. So it's all about being likable. Yeah. But here's the thing. That's a good feeling. Knowing that he goes to you instead of the other store. That's cool. All right. So ready to flip smarter. How to? Go to hustlertaughtme.com. Go to products. It's not resources anymore. Go to products. Clip phone. Flipping buyer's price list. Buy the price list. Once you buy the price list, I will be notified. Once I'm notified, I'm going to send you this deck, right, that we're going over right now. But I'm also going to send you an email for you to book a call with me. We're going to book a call. You're going to tell me about your business. I want to actually get to know your business. I want to introduce myself. I want to understand what type of phone flipping business you're running. I want to understand so I can relay it to the buyers in the correct manner. And we're gonna get to work. I'm here to help people make money, especially in this fourth quarter. I'm ready to get locked in, bro. I'm locked in. If you guys can't tell by the way I'm speaking, by the way I'm moving, by the way that I'm articulating myself, by the way that I am composing and building these slides and things, it's go time. Quarter 4 is not about this year. It's really about building that momentum to go into next year, right? And I've never taken quarters as serious as I have this year. Never. I never cared about the different times of the year and all. I care now because, see, I'm building a business to be scalable, right? And for that to happen, sometimes you got to start to take things a little bit more serious, right? So again, you get the phone flipping buyers price list and the slideshow. It's only $85. It unlocks access to 50 plus buyers. It includes phones, iPads, Apple Watches, game systems, locked, blacklisted, and more. Of course, Androids too. And it's one-time purchase. There's no subscription. It's none of that. Okay? Good job, Mo. Good job. Congratulations. So yeah, it's more so about, again, guys, us networking, building, and most importantly, profiting. Okay, and that is what we are here for. All right, so when you get the price list, definitely let me know, guys. Okay, now what I want to do is, before I do get off, let's talk about how do you get repeat buyers as a phone flipper, right? How do you get repeat buyers? Now, these topics that I'm following are topics that are actually from questions that have been asked to me, and I thought that they were really unique and interesting, right? So when it comes to getting repeat buyers, there is a big knowledge gap with a bunch of phone flippers, because, see, Mo just said it really in a nutshell. You got to be likable. You do. Now, if you're one of those people that socially awkward, right? Whether you don't talk a lot or maybe you don't articulate yourself, it's okay. That doesn't make you not likable. See, the difference is the way you attract buyers to consistently mess with you, or even people that are sellers, right? Let's say that you want people to sell you phones. You got to find wholesale sellers. You got to find people that get phones consistently. And the way you find the people that get phones consistently is you go on platforms like Facebook. You go on platforms like OfferUp. You go on these platforms, right? And you look for people that are selling phones. And then you ask them while you're talking to them, hey, do you have any more? Hey, you got any more phones? Or you'll find that some people, they'll decline. Now, if they decline your offer for whatever amount you're trying to buy their phone for, you can also follow up by saying, all right, cool, no problem. Do you happen to sell phones on a consistent basis? If you have more phones, I can offer more. So these are all like questions and techniques that you can utilize to try and decipher if these people are consistent buyers. And some of them would tell you up front, yeah, I'm a buyer that buys phones and sells them every week or every day, right? Or I get phones consistently. And these are the type of people you want, because they're the type of people that's going to make you the money, okay? So yes, you can attract these buyers by doing that. What else was I about to say? I was about to give another tip too. My phone keeps getting texts and it's distracting me. Another way to find wholesale buyers is by actually just literally putting yourself out there. Hey, I buy phones. Like, be that person that people see all the time on these platforms buying phones, because then you're going to attract others and they're going to start actually wanting to do business. I'm telling you, these are facts. They're going to want to do business with you. Then you're going to be able to just build and grow and network with them. You know what I mean? Does the other one? Yes, they are. I'm responding to you, Nelson, right now. Mostly all phones are good to resell, except for iPhone 11s and lower. Nah, iPhone 12s and lower, to be honest. All right, so now next topic, okay? All right, cool. Let's go ahead and let's actually make some phone deals. Let's try to get some phones. Okay. So the way I do this, right? And I'm organically walking you guys through how I handle me trying to buy phones. So first, I gotta have a budget. Now, when I talk about budget, it really, the first thing that pops up in my mind is how people ask me all the time, how much money do I need to get started? That's like the most popular thing people ask me. How much do I need to get started? And it irritates me because it shows me that you're not really in this thing to win it. It shows me that you're not really a hustler. It shows me that you're not really somebody that wants to make money. You're somebody that wants to keep it. I'm going to say that again. It shows me that you're not somebody that wants to make money. You're somebody that wants to keep it. See, I'm not saying that you should be spending any money on courses, digital products, or any type of price list, right? What I will tell you is if you're somebody that's scared to spend money, you're scared to make it. Don't try to act like you want to make some bread, but you can't spend it. That doesn't make sense. Too many people out here nowadays are trying to start businesses on a budget. That is the dumbest thing I think I've ever had to deal with students, is people that are acting as if they don't want to invest money in their business, but they can invest money to go to parties. They can invest money to take that girl on a date. They can invest money to go do all of these other stupid, non-beneficial things, but they cannot invest their money to take a gamble or take a risk. But it's interesting because we take risks all the time. You know, when I get my brakes done from that mechanic and at that little janky gas station, right? When I go to AutoZone and I go ahead and buy the brakes and then go to the mechanic and have them put them on, like, these are all gambles because I don't know if they're going to put them things on right. That's a fact. That's a fact. But I don't ever think to myself, oh my God, all right, let me drive off this lot and please, Jesus, let me be safe, right? I just do it, right? Understanding that taking gambles is a part of life. It's not something that you ever should be scared of, right? So I have to come up with a budget. Let's just say my budget is $300. Cool. All right. So if I was starting first, I'm taking off shipping, okay? Only local. I do not do shipping, nor do I want to have to get my phone shipped. I don't believe that I should be waiting for any phones to come in the mail that I want to flip. That is counterproductive, doesn't make sense, and also will hold me up. Next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to first start one search. And the first search that I'm going to start is going to be for locked iPhones. The reason I'm going to do that is because if somebody's working on a budget, one of the biggest things I recommend is making sure that you are looking for phones that are locked, because when you use the price list, you're able to sell these locked phones to buyers too. Now, locked phones do have some type of reselling value. Now, here's the price list. Welcome. Here's the price list, okay? You have new phones, used phones, Samsungs, iCloud lock, blacklisted, iPads, Apple accessories, Apple Watches, MacBooks. You're able to flip all of these, okay? Now, if we're looking at the price list, I should have did this first. If we're looking at the price list, we see that an iPhone 16 Pro Max 256 is being sold. Well, the market value right now. Now, I want to make this very clear. Market value is not what the buyers pay. This is the floor. This is what they start with, okay? So I'll give you guys an example. The iPhone 16 Pro Max 256 is going to be market value of $930. That is not the price they will pay you. Okay? That is the beginning price that they will pay you. Now, if there's another buyer that wants to offer more, then the price goes up to $950 or $960 or whatever they make it, right? So right now we see still non-activated iPhone 16 Pro Max 256, $930. So that means the market value is $930. That means that the least I can get paid is what? $930. This is a benefit to you because when you're going and you're trying to actually flip and grow, you're going to have to realize that there are always buyers in competition with each other. You need to be able to utilize them so that you could actually get the most. Hold on, y'all. My grandmother called me. Call you right back. Sorry, guys. All right. Gotta make sure the grandma know. You feel me? You don't know. You gotta cherish them. All right. So now with the iPhone 16 Pro Max, right? The 930 is good, but I know for a fact that that's not worth me actually flipping right now, right? So what I could do, I can go to used and I could start looking for these phones or even the iCloud locked blacklisted ones too. So I'm gonna look at some little scratched or defected ones. They're still worth bread. Look, iPhone 11. This is locked, right? This was 2 days ago, but he's in New Jersey. And he's probably not going to travel for a phone that's locked. Okay, iPhone 13 carrier lock works perfect. Great. So I'm going to walk you guys through what I see, okay? All right. So y'all going to hear me talking. I'm just going to talk about what I see. What's up, Andy? How are you? Good to see you. Good morning. All right, so we have this carrier lock one. Screen looks to be damaged. Phone is okay. Oh, no. Phone is very bad. Very bad condition. Okay. And he had it in the case. Why he put the case on after he messed the phone up? That's crazy work. Look at the frame. The frame is just horrible, right? So what I would say to him is, this is definitely a C grade. So if we were to look at the iPhone 13s ain't worth not a goddamn thing, really. But if we were to look at them, right? Yeah. I can't sell an iPhone 13 to a buyer. I can't. What I have to do is I have to buy the iPhone 13, and then I have to sell it to a consumer. Easy. Because a consumer is still going to want an iPhone 13 because they have SIM cards. So iPhone 13s are very much still okay. All right. I can do 130. That's it. What company? Always ask a question so you can get a response. All right. So that's how I would attack it if I'm on a budget. I'm gonna start with some defective phones, typed in lock phones, type in something like that, scratch phones, whatever. Look for some phones. This right here looks to be a wholesale seller, somebody that gets phones on a consistent basis. You see two devices right back to back with each other. This says iPhone 15 Plus fully sealed, never opened. Two iPhone 15s, price total for both of them, not one individually. Price $450. That sounds more like it. So the person wants $450 each, right? We can go over here to new phones for iPhone 15 Plus. Horrible phone. Horrible phone to try to sell. Horrible phone. But it's unlocked. Looks to be sealed. $450 is the market value. Ain't that what he's asking? This is 100,000 billion% a wholesale seller. This is somebody that gets phones on a consistent basis because he's not overpricing. That's how you can tell when somebody's a real wholesale seller or somebody that is trying to just sell something. You know what I mean? Prices start to become astronomically unreasonable. Okay? I'm telling you, this is facts. So what I would say to him, because I speak buyer language, I'll just be like this. He didn't hide the IMEIs. Like, there's a few little things that I want y'all to look at. He didn't hide the IMEIs. Only consumers really hide IMEIs thinking that it's going to hurt them or something, right? If you hide the IMEI, ain't nothing finna hurt you just because we see your IMEI. If anything, that gives us more insight on what the phone is, and so we can make an accurate offer, right? But I'm going to offer this person, I can do, remember, I'm competing with his buyer, I'm sure. His buyer must only pay $400. I guarantee you. The problem that I'm having, I don't like sealed phones. I could do 380. I just don't like sealed phones. I just don't trust people anymore. Like, that's my thing. Like, I'm gonna be honest with you guys. He might be legit and everything, but I always want to open the phone. So like, if I'm gonna buy a phone, I'll tell people straight up, I'm gonna open this joint, bro. Cause it get too shaky nowadays. iPhone 16e, prime example, right? This would be a device I'll be like, this device isn't worth not a goddamn thing either. The iPhone 16e, that's the thing. Like, the 16e is really not worth nothing used. So I always had to go to new, right? And new, it still ain't worth nothing, right? So what I would say to this person, I can do 250, or no, I say, I say two. I can do 230. No box, right? Now, my goal is for them to say no. I'll tell you guys this right now. My goal is for them to object. Why? Because I rather know that the offer I'm giving is something that they don't like rather than me overgive, right? Like, again, your first form of communication should be an objection, because your offer should not be something they're willing to take. You want to get a deal. You want to get something. You don't want to get a steal. You want to get a deal. It's a difference. You don't want to get something that's too good to be true, but you also don't want to get something that doesn't really, like, you don't walk away like, yeah, I got that. You know what I mean? iPhone. Cricket. A lot of people are selling 13s. It's a problem. That is a problem. Then look, this seems too good to be true. iPhone 15, iPhone 15, $300. Very chippy though. I can do 275. Locked, right? Oh, I'm sorry. Let me read you, Mo. Don't blame you. I open. All right, bro. Be safe, all right? Damn, scammers have hosed us too many times, Brandon. I feel you. Yes, sir. Yes, Andy. Don't blame you. I open all my sealed devices because you never know, especially with all these fakes. Yeah, it's too much. It's too much, man. Like, it starts getting a little bit absurd. Like, we can't trust not a goddamn thing nowadays. I don't care if we meet at T-Mobile. Listen, I'll buy a phone at T-Mobile and make the rep open the phone at this point. There's a lot of bad phones right here in Philly. It's a lot of stores trying to sell phones. So what tells you? So let me explain something to y'all too. If you go on OfferUp and you see a bunch of stores listing phones, that tells you in your area the phone market is trash. Different days, same BS. Absolutely, man. It's always something else, man. All right, Mo, you have a good one. I'll see you later, bro. Always something, y'all. It's always something. It's always something. But I think what I'm going to do, damn, we at 1 hour and 16 minutes. I didn't want this to be that long. I'm going to, look at this iPhone 14. Yeah, this looks nice. Yeah, and they went down on price skis. Somebody's getting desperate. I can do 250. No box, right? Somebody's getting a little antsy. But yeah, what I'm gonna do, guys, I'm gonna hop off so I can get to work. Even though I'm working. But I'm gonna hop off. And definitely tomorrow, 11 a.m. Eastern time, I'll be live again, YouTube and also TikTok. I might go live tonight before my phone flipping class, so I might just bring you guys some content as well. I got a bunch of things I'm working on again. I am challenging myself to pick up the pace, become more execution based, especially to end this year, man. It's a lot of BS that happens throughout our lives. Just in general, we deal with a lot of personal things, but we need to make sure we don't let any of that stuff knock us off our square, man. All right, I'm going to chop this video up, put out some clips for you guys if you guys missed anything, and I will see you guys in the next video. Thank you, everybody. Andy, have a great day, man. Tap in with me. I hope that you are safe. Everything is good with the family, and I hope to see you soon. All right, everybody on TikTok, thank you guys so much for watching. I appreciate you guys so much, too. Everybody that joined my team as well. I'll see you guys later as well. Peace.